Hey everyone, welcome to Build. I'm your host, Brittany Jones-Cooper. The CBS All Access show Strange Angel tells the story of Jack Parsons, a genius rocket engineer who was an important figure in the U.S. space program. But as his career was taking off, Parsons was also obsessed with the occult, sex, and black magic. Joslyn DeFreece joins us today to talk about her role as Brigitte in season 2. But first, here's a clip.
There are rituals of the elements and feasts of the times. A feast for life and a greater feast for death.
We are up against a very dangerous enemy.
We must not lose sight of the great struggle between light and dark, good and evil.
When we make missiles that cross oceans, we're one step closer to rockets that can reach the moon.
They're claiming to be a real religion. Can you imagine that?
Every false prophet draws power from somewhere.
Are you sure this is your will?
We really do have all these empty rooms.
What about your sister?
She's young and impressionable. I fear for what could happen.
Long time no see, Jack.
The forces of vice and corruption have found refuge.
You feel the need to remain in control, but you need to let go.
Bridge the divine. Take away all your pain.
I think I'm starting to understand what you get out of all of this.
You're trapped, Jack, caught between two worlds.
There is no other God than me.
I've done so much to protect what we have here. I can't be the reason it falls apart.
Out of the ashes, man will be reborn.
It's not just about winning this war. It's about winning every war to come.
You speak of dangerous magic.
You have to be careful fighting monsters or you might turn into one yourself.
Put your hands together for Joslyn DeFreece. How you doing?
Great, thank you for having me.
Welcome to Build.
Yay.
I'm super pumped to talk about this show because after watching one episode, I went into just a rabbit hole on the internet because it's based off of a real man in his life.
Yes.
So this is season 2 of the show, but you're just coming on in season 2. So what was your kind of preparation to getting into this role? Did you watch all of season 1 and what was your reaction?
It happened so fast. Let's see, I booked the role on a Tuesday night. I was flown out to Los Angeles on Thursday, and I was shooting Friday morning.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it was awesome, and it was like I started reading the book Strange Angel on the way out there on the plane, and then was just kind of like spinning down a rabbit hole, and plus this was like my first television show, so it was like learning everything on steroids, learning right now. So it was a lot of excitement.
What was that audition process like?
It was actually a self-tape. I had been developing a German accent for years, and I had actually just completed writing a script about a German trans woman in the 1930s, true story, and I had just been in Berlin in October, and then like January 15th or something, I got the I finished the script January 1st. January 15th, I get an audition for German Trans 1943. Yeah. And it was like right away, it was like lots of fun, crazy, like sex magic in the audition piece. So it was like a lot to play with, and we put it on tape. A week later, I was on hold, and then a week later, I was booked, and then a week later, I was shooting.
So you like manifested this role, basically.
100%. Yeah, I mean I've been talking to like my friends about it. It's like I actually have written every day for like 2 years. I'm manifesting playing a German trans woman. Yeah.
Are you? That's amazing.
Yeah.
And so take me through, how Brigitte was described in the script and who she is in the show.
She has escaped the Nazis and found respite in Thelema and the parsonage, and Alfred was kind of like her savior, and she escaped Germany and comes to Los Angeles, and then she finds home with these people that feel on the outside of society. So, and then lots of sex magic. Yeah, lots of crazy sex, rockets, magic, all this stuff happens. So.
And take me through developing her accent. Like you said, you were working on this before you even had the role, which I was going to applaud you for your accent, but you had been working on it for years before.
Yeah, I mean, I had an amazing dialect coach for the show that I worked with, and she just helped me refine things. But German has been something that, for whatever reason, I felt a kinship to for years and have worked and developed. So, yeah.
And you said you were kind of working on your own project before. What was interesting for you about portraying life for a trans woman in that time period, whether it be the 1930s or 1940s?
Well, because of how queer the culture was in Weimar, Germany. I mean, I found that endlessly fascinating that this culture was existed, and there was the gayest city in the world, or queerest city in the world, and then the Nazis happened. So I found that really interesting, and then I would just go down rabbit holes researching that. And I mean, that's one of the exciting things about the show, too, is that it really kind of honors that piece of history. And then, you know, the creator of the show, Mark Heyman, he just really wanted to do justice to all of this history, so.
There's so much. I was fascinated by this show. First, it's a beautiful show. The way it's
it's
shot
gorgeous.
and the
Yeah.
costumes. I mean, everything is so gorgeous. But the fact that Jack Parsons was a real man, a scientist, a genius, who was really responsible for, you know, us being able to send rockets to space, and then he had this whole double life.
Yeah.
And how that genius sort of was two sides of the same coin, really. The way he was using it was like sort of dark, and then also for science.
Yeah.
Is that what fascinated you about being part of this project? Is just like all the layers to this story?
Well, it really is like he was manifesting his destiny in a lot of ways. So I really like how, you know, for all the dark shadow sides that existed, there was also so much like beauty and love that this community believed in. That was my largest attraction to the project was, oh, this is really about embracing yourself and embracing like love is the law. You know, it's like that's a pretty powerful concept.
Yeah. And the fact that it was this community, this space where people could come in and feel comfortable was really important, I think, especially at that time in history. Was there anything particularly interesting that you found out about this? I mean, it's a cult, for lack of a better word. Is there anything interesting you found out in your research, or once you kind of got in on set, you started reading, and anything that popped out?
I mean, there's a lot. Yeah. I mean, there's so much. Like, just the fact that this existed in Pasadena in the 1940s in this very wealthy upper-class neighborhood, these, you know, like outcasts are, you know, living in a sex cult and, you know, practicing sex magic rituals. It's that, like, blew my mind. Because for all my research that I was doing about Germany and Berlin, I knew nothing about what was happening in Los Angeles, you know, in my own country, so... Yeah.
So you said this was your first like major TV role. Congrats.
Thank you.
How has that felt as a trans woman, getting to just increase representation and visibility in that way?
Oh, it's been wonderful.
Yeah.
It's been awesome to also bring a character where I felt like I could like sink my teeth into a role. I got to bring, you know, something that I've been developing and working and like my craft to step into a role was really rewarding. And also just showing a new side, something that I don't feel like has been shown yet, so. Yeah.
I think it's so important. I'm starting to see it more, increasing visibility of queer figures throughout history.
Yes.
I think that's so important, and I'm really happy to see that. Like this being set in the 40s, and it's like, yeah, people have always been around, and it's just like we shut doors on communities, but really the visibility is so important.
Absolutely. I mean, that's you know, we've been here. Like the queer community has been living through, you know, every society throughout history, you know, and so it's not something that's just, you know, the 21st century. This is something that's been existing always, gender variance in some way, and so it feels really nice and rewarding as an artist to be, oh, I'm getting to tell some of these stories, things that I wish I would have known as a kid.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's when I see the news with Janet Mock getting that deal with Netflix, and I think
yes.
everybody's just so excited because you want those narratives. We need those stories. We need that visibility.
Absolutely.
You know. So what does that mean for you when you saw that? Because I'm like, this is spectacular that we are in this moment in history where we can actually do things the right way.
It really makes me feel like I am a part of something huge right now, like being able to like step into telling our own stories, being like giving the history of everything and being able to like make a mark. And then also, you know, this project that I've been working on and developing, it's like, oh, this reinforces what I've been doing. You know, it just feels like so much momentum. Yeah.
So what was your journey to acting?
I mean, I've been acting since I was like in second grade. It's like little school plays, high school theater, went to American Academy of Dramatic Arts, and when I was 18, it's like, it's always been there. And then for a long time, it was like theater and doing like student films and stuff like that. So it's been quite a journey.
Yeah. What would you consider your first sort of like breakthrough role when you're like, okay, I really want to do this for a living?
I made a film 8 years ago with Laverne Cox called Carla, and that was when I realized, like, wow, before it was like, it never really hit me that, oh, this is a job. Like, it was always like, oh, I love doing this more than anything. It's for the art. But then when I made Carla and made the connections with Laverne, she became one of my closest friends, and felt the power of telling trans stories. It was like, oh, this could be a job that I also get to have a deeper purpose. Yeah. And that's very much the same with Strange Angel. Yeah. You know, it's like, oh, this serves something greater than just not just playing a role, but also like it has it's helping. Yeah. Yeah.
Is that something you always look for then in projects? Just something that you feel is pushing a narrative or an important story forward?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's so important to me to like feel connected to a piece that I feel like I'm doing, you know, that I'm doing good with it, like, and that I'm helping something. So
what sort of other roles would you like to explore or try as you just continue on this path? Because this is your first show, but it won't be your last. So what other projects would you maybe look forward to doing in the future?
I mean, I want to do it all. Yeah, I want to do it all. Yeah, I would love to like go into comedy and more drama, more character pieces, like where it's really rooted in like historical figures. There's so many stories throughout history that need to be told, and it's the more research I do, the more I learn. It's like, wow, there's so much that needs to be told.
Do any pop into mind? I'm just curious. No.
Yeah, no. I mean,
I don't want to put you on the spot.
Yeah, outside of, the thing that really I'm the most fascinated with at the moment is Weimar Germany. It's like sort of an obsession. I'm going to Berlin in like 3 weeks. So yeah.
Just because of how progressive it was at a time when.
Yeah,
and
because of the atrocities that exist, like how those two things can simultaneously exist, that you can have this liberal like culture, and you know, and then you can have the backlash in conservative culture, and it's, you know, terrifying, and you see where it parallels throughout history, and where, you know, in like today, where those things still exist, and so it's. Right now, that feels like I'm the most passionate about telling stories in that period. So
it's so interesting that is what you're passionate about, because there's similar themes in Strange Angel, definitely.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's really funny, and I mean, like you said, manifesting, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it really did feel like going onto the set and working with everyone. It was about, you know, taking the shame away and like really like diving in. And pulling away, like, you know, because you see, I don't want to give anything away, but there's so many characters that are conservative and but also, you know, not doing some doing some pretty awful things, and so just kind of seeing that dichotomy, and yeah, it's, yeah.
I'm interested too. I've seen a scene where you guys are sort of involved in these rituals sort of things. What is it like filming those scenes? What is the like build up into that? The vibe on set?
I mean, the vibe on, the ritual scenes sometimes were like a bit intense, in like the scene of us going around in the circle and the fountain at night. I think it was the coldest day Los Angeles had in in a very long time, and it snowed for the first time in Los Angeles that day. And we were standing barefoot around this fountain, and we're all like, okay. You know, it's like till 1 a.m. It was, but yet at the same time, we're all laughing hysterically. Right. Yeah.
Have you learned any like crazy Latin chants, or have you had to memorize
I don't
anything
remember.
weird?
I don't remember them. Amara, she would teach us some kind of like Kundalini chants, because she had taught Kundalini yoga, and so she's teaching us, like, we're coming up with these chants that like, it was very intense. And in episode 2, you get to see some pretty awesome stuff that she does with that. Yeah. So
I also watched part of episode 2, so I think I saw the part, and I was like, how is it just to memorize these crazy chants?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, we were all in awe of her that day. I mean, it was like, it was pretty intense. I mean, there's so many times that everything just becomes so intense and fun, and then on the reverse side, it was like we're just hysterically laughing like we're 5 years old. So.
So there's so many different themes and things to dig into from this show. But for you, when you encourage viewers to watch, what is something that you hope that they take away after watching Strange Angel?
I think probably the most important thing to take away would be people that are like different. People that are on the outside can find family and kinship somewhere, you know? And like that's when there's like this conservative structure, it becomes very like important to find community. Yeah.
Well, before we go, we do have a question from the audience. Okay. So who do we have first?
Hi.
Hi.
I was wondering if you kept any costumes or props.
I didn't keep any costumes or props, but I have lots of awesome photos of me in some pretty crazy costumes. So, yeah.
I do love the 40s style hair. I was looking at your Instagram. How fun is it just to get to dress? Like, it's such
amazing.
A classic style.
Yeah. It was like, they would transform me. It really was like, you know, I would see so much of like seeing photos of my grandmother and from like the 1940s and being like, oh my gosh, like there's a scary resemblance right now. But it was pretty awesome. And the costumes were just beautiful, like so beautiful and so detailed and so perfect. So.
I love the costumes. And I know the photo on your Instagram, you're like standing in front of a car.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's such a cool, like it could have been straight out of the 1940s.
Absolutely.
It was so convincing and
yeah.
beautiful. Like the team, the hair and makeup team is just phenomenal in the show.
Absolutely.
I'm excited for people to check out season 2. Like I said, it's been such a fun ride. And I think it just like brings you into this whole different world that you didn't even know existed with the occult and this genius and so many good things in this show.
And there's just, I mean, honestly, season 2 is just so much excitement.
Yeah.
Like it was like, season 1 was so much like history, and season 2, it's just like hit the ground rolling, like hold on to your hats because so much is about to happen. So
there's like orgy scenes, guys.
Yeah,
also.
it is intense.
I don't want to bury the lead, but there's like a lot of sex in this show.
Yeah, there's a lot of sex and like a lot of fun. Yeah.
If you guys want to check it out, new episodes of Strange Angel are released every Thursday on CBS All Access. Please put your hands together for Joslyn DeFreece.
Yeah.